Morning, everyone. I've been having some trouble with um, Zoom. Let me see if I can. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Okay, I see some thumbs. Okay, I'm gonna open
I
up.
can hear you perfectly.
Awesome. Okay, so I'll go ahead and share my screen. For some reason, when I was in here the first time, it did not show any responses. Didn't show any of you guys. So, um, share my screen real
All right,
quick.
Denny, you should.
Right. I'm sorry. Was that you, Steven? Or someone said something. Okay. All right. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yep, we got you.
All right. So I apologize. So I had some technical difficulties. But if you would, you can scan that QR code that is there on the screen, or you can enter that bit.ly in the URL, the bit.ly backslash AI Educator Playbook to get a copy of these slides. And this session is AI Playbook for Educators, your top plays toolkit. So my name is Denny Hammond. I'm an EdTech data coach in Ohio from Adena Local Schools, which is kind of the southern part of Ohio near Chillicothe, southern to uh, to Columbus. A little bit more about me. I am a lifelong runner. I've actually run the Boston Marathon. I've run um, some other marathons and some longer runs as well, up to 56 miles. Married with kids, and I actually just became a grandpa recently. Been in education for 21 years and counting through been in high school math, K through 12 math specialist, various leadership and tech roles, online education, and currently the EdTech data coach. I have my bachelor's from Rio Grande here in Ohio, not in Texas. Master's in ed leadership from the University of Dayton. I'm a Google certified trainer. I apologize. I'm in a school, so the I'm a generative AI advocate and a GEG Ohio co-leader. Um, I love learning about new tech tools I'm a problem solver by heart, and I love to have conversations about what education is going to look like. Just in the last year, with all the generative AI tools that have come about, which I'll share a lot today, things have changed quite a bit in just a single year in education. So this session, I based this session that the people in the session know a little bit about Gemini, ChatGPT, the Perplexity, I think it's a Claude, those types of tools, which are just general tools that you could use for pretty much anything. Um, the tools that I'm going to focus on are specific to education. So they kind of use Gemini, ChatGPT, and those tools as a backbone to the tools that you'll see today. What I focused on when creating this list, I wanted some tools that were educator focused. You don't want necessarily baseball tips if you are coaching football. So I don't necessarily need cooking tips if I am teaching math. So these tools are specific to education. They provide some coaching assistance. So that assistant that all the teachers, all educators want in the classroom, this can be that assistant for you. They're free. Most of them are at least offer a freemium version of them. Some of them are all inclusive free. Some of them just offer specific pieces that are free. Time management, I feel like all these generative AI tools help with time management in the classroom, whether it's grading, the planning, the creativity part of it with creating lessons and things like that. So, and then the game plan creation. So this can, along with the time management piece, can really save you a lot of time and also help you with the creative side of it, and maybe add components that you may have missed otherwise, and so many more things. So this is my playbook, the playbook. So you can click on any of these as you use this tool. So if I wanted to click on Conquer and see what it's all about, you could click on that tool, that play, and it will take you to that and give you a short description of what Conquer is. Same thing with all the other tools. And then also at the bottom, you see the football shaped sort of tools. Let me move this out of the way so you can see that the playlist that kind of gives you a list of these tools and even more that I've come up with. I put in a Google sheet that you can have access to and gives you a little bit more information as well. If you want more, there is a tool called Futurepedia, which I'll show you or a website that has all of these tools and a lot more. Um, and then my info. So we'll start with Conquer AI. So I just kind of went through these. The Conquer AI was one of the first ones that I found as an educator. And I was really excited about this because it allowed me to create assessments or quizzes. And the piece I was most excited about, I could export them in different formats. Conquer AI does have its own sort of platform, but you can also export them to Google Forms. And since we are Google for Education School, um, I use Google Forms for a lot of assessments and things like that. And a lot of our teachers do too. So we could create the quiz within Conquer and then um, export it to Google Forms. So start with, this is what you would see when you first log in, and you could along the left-hand side, you see the create option. You could click on the explore, and there are some things that have already been created. You can sort by standards, California and the national, I think that's science standards, if I remember right. You can change the whether it's science, social studies, or whatever you're teaching. You change the grade level. But the piece that I really liked was the create. So you can enter any topic you want. I'm just going to click on one of these. So we'll say that I entered animal farm. When you enter a topic, it's going to give you a few things that you can pick from. You can choose the types of questions that you want. So you have 4 different types there. You can choose the number of questions up to 10, unless you pay for it. You can choose the grade level, and you can choose the language. Notice it adds text here for me because I just chose a topic. However, you can add copy and paste text in there or add text to give it some idea of what you want the quiz or this thing that it's creating to be around. Once you have all that information, you can click on that little generate icon, and it's going to create a quiz for you. And a lot of these generative AI tools take a second or two to create the result. So we have our questions. You can see it working here, creating some questions. So I have the reading off to the left-hand side, and then you can see the questions here in the center. So notice as you go through each of these, you can actually click on them if you would like to modify or edit them in any way. You can see the feedback that the student would get based on correct and incorrect answers, and you can even validate the answers based on Google search. One thing I have noticed with regards to math is that you kind of have to be careful uh, with the results that they provide in the math section. So I created one around solving equations, and looking through the answers, I realized that some of them were not labeled correctly. Like they did not have the correct answer selected. So I had to go through and fix those. Everything else was beautiful. It even had the correct answer there, but it didn't have it selected for whatever reason. So you could go through and edit those, make sure there are questions there that you want. You can trash them if you don't want that question to show up on the quiz. And then once you're done with all of that, you can share it. So a few different options. If you want to house it all within the Conquer AI system, you can use one of the first two tools, the embed. So if you want to share the link in Google Classroom, you can use a QR code so they can scan the QR code. You can print it, or again, my favorite is that Google Forms option there. And you click on Google Forms and it will create it within your account in Google Forms. And that's Conquer AI. The second one that is on that list is Question Well. So I was really excited about Conquer AI because it created a quiz that you could export to Google Forms. This one does that, and I would say even a little bit more. So I'm going to click on uh, let's click on Question Well. This is what you would see when you log in. It's asking for a lot of the same things. You get to create up to, in this case, 20 questions. You have just multiple choice, which I'm okay with because it has a lot of other plus sides to it. Conquer AI, you can create different question types. Multiple choice here with Question Well, unless you do the paid version. You would type in a topic. So we could do the structure of an atom there. I'm going to do American Revolution. And then notice along the tabs, you can enter some text. You can add a YouTube video, which there's some new pieces here. The interactive video question uh, creation. It's similar to if you're familiar with Edpuzzle or the feature within Google Classroom now, you can add YouTube videos and add questions within the YouTube video. This is the same type of tool. Or you can import, or you can enter just a website that you want to create a quiz from. So I believe I already have something created here that I was going to pull up. This is this is the quiz. This is kind of what the quiz would look like um, from a video standpoint. So if you were to pull a YouTube video in, notice the little dots here. It creates some questions for each of the points. This is what it would look like from a user standpoint. I'm going to jump back. Instead of creating a set, I'm going to click on the saved sets that I have, so you can see what that looks like. Um, click on the American Revolution. And when I create that set, notice there are the questions off to the right. You can edit them just like you did in Conquer. And then you have some information off to the left-hand side too. So there are the essential questions. You can add vocabulary if you upgrade. But the thing I really like about Question Well is that you can export it and import the product into so many other things. So Quizzes is one of the options. You can export it to Kahoot. You can export it to a lot of different LMSs here. GimKit, you can export it to Google Forms again, and Slides, and so many other things there. I think that's really one of the, if you were to look at Conquer and Quiz, uh, Question Well, that's the benefit of Question Well over like a Conquer. So the next tool, so let me pull up that. We'll jump to DiffIt. So DiffIt is, I I think, absolutely amazing. We actually, I was so on board with DiffIt that we went ahead and we were early adopters and we subscribed to, we got an account as a school just because it can do so many things. So this is and it's actually very reasonable in pricing compared to a lot of the other AI tools that I found too. So DiffIt, what it does, if you are looking for something that can change the level of a text. So let's say you have maybe some online resources that you want uh, to change the level of the text so that everyone's reading the same thing, um, but the text is on that student's level. this is the tool for you. And I know a lot of the educational AI tools are starting to do this, but I think I still like DeFit better. I think they got a head start on this because not only does it change the level of the text, it does a lot of other things that I'll share. So you can, this is the page you would see when you log in. You could enter any sort of topic and it will create text for you on a specific level that you choose. And you can even change the language of it if you wish. You can also enter a video URL or just a URL to an article or just any other text or excerpt. You can upload PDF files here as well. So I'm going to jump to my resources just because it will make things go just a little bit quicker. And I think I have, how about do the fascination of flight with Nigel Lane. So when you ask it to create something, so I found some text online, asked it to create something on the ninth grade level with regards to this topic. It created an AI image for me. I could change the AI images if I want to. But then it creates the adapted reading passage here. Notice you can adjust the length of it. You can edit it if you want. You also have a short summary here. You have some key vocabulary words. Um, I really like that it adds multiple choice in the short answer and open-ended questions as well. Notice that you can add more questions if you want on each of those categories or edit. And then the thing that I really, really like about Diffit, if this weren't enough, is that you can select the Get Activities option. And you have, I think I counted, it's probably 50 to 100 different options for how to export this material. So notice you can print it as a PDF document. You can export to Google Forms like a lot of the other tools. You can export to Google Slides in a lot of different formats, activity formats, as you can see there. Now, I believe initially this is free, but a lot of this I think is going to be part of the paid version as well. So I'm not sure where the line is as far as the free version versus the paid version. I think in January they switched over to from all free to some of it's free and then some of it's going to be paid. But you see all the different um, things it can create. One of the tools um, that I created, I did this is a new one, is the social media style summary. So when it creates it, this is kind of the style, once it loads here, that it creates. So it adds all of the information that it created. So the vocabulary, it gives an activity. So in the upper left, we can replace this with a username. So social media style, write a caption for the Instagram style post. You can create 3 relevant hashtags. And then with the reading, you have some area to take notes. It has the multiple choice questions here, again, with some area to answer and maybe respond as to why, and so on and so forth. So that is the fit. I'll pause for a second to see. I've been paying attention to the chat. See if you guys have any questions, feel free to enter them into the chat, and I'll try to pay attention. Yeah, Taryn. Yeah, I've noticed there are a lot of groups on Facebook. I know Magic School. I think I'm part of the DFID group. I can't remember because there's so many of them. Um, but yeah, Megan, so far these have all have free features. There's an option to pay. Yes, I believe so. That is the case. I think a lot of these tools that I'll share too, I think they're all going to, even if they're all free, right now, they're probably going to get to the point where they're paid. Um, One thing I have liked about the generative AI tools, as far as uh, the paid concept, is that they allow you to have access to all the features, a lot of them at least. I guess the ones I just shared did not, but some of the tools that I'll share in this session give you access to all of the features. They just limit how much you can use them. Sorry about that. So I kind of like that pay model. That way I can have access to all the tools. So DiffIt for math. It's more, I think DiffIt, where it's best is reading. Um, if there were reading portions to the math content, then it may be good for that. As far as like, it depends on what level of math, I guess, too. Creating questions, if you're creating worksheets and things like that, I'm not so sure that would be the ideal. I think it would work for anything else, but I'm not sure that math is probably the go-to play for that. Yeah, absolutely. You can share if you're asking if you can share any of the stuff I'm sharing, you're absolutely welcome to share anything with anyone you think might benefit from it. So, absolutely. All right. So I think the next one, so DiffIt, yeah, is amazing. Absolutely love DiffIt. This is another one that it kind of it offers something different. Is Merlin. So Merlin, if you're familiar with Chrome extensions, you can also, if you click right here on the icon, it will take you directly to the web store or the website of the tool that I'm sharing. So when you click on this option, you'll have to add a Chrome extension. So it's going to show that or give me the option to remove the Chrome extension because I already have it added. But Merlin shows up in a few different ways, shows some value in a few different ways. It shows value when you're doing a simple Google search. So let me see. I tried to have this preloaded. So I did a Google search earlier that says, "Can you give me more information about the American Revolution?" Now, if you were just doing a Google search, it's going to give you a little bit of information through Google. It's going to give you links to American Revolution type information. Merlin, what it does off to the right-hand side, notice it gives me an answer that directly answers my question, not just links to things that might help me come to that conclusion, but it gives me an answer here. Um, if I want to continue to ask follow-up questions and have a conversation back and forth, I can click on ask follow-up and it should pop up off to the right-hand side and I can start a conversation about the American Revolution right there. So that's one way Merlin provides some value. Another way that Merlin provides some value is that within Gmail. Sorry about that. The Bitly from the beginning. Here, I can jump back real quick. I think maybe there you go. Bit.ly backslash AI educator playbook. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Yeah, so we have Merlin. So the next way that I find some value in with Merlin is when you are in Gmail. I'm not sure if this works with Outlook or not, but notice there's a little AI button right next to my compose. I can click on that, and this is a tool that will um, help me draft an email. So I could create something around it gives me a couple options there. If I want a cold email, introduce myself, I could click on that, or I could enter some draft information, and then it's going to clean it up for me a little bit. I'll click on the introduce myself, and then it should create something there. And I'll have to enter some information. So it says, "Dear recipient's name." I hope this email finds you well. My name is Denny Hammond. It's going to just go through all this and introduce me. And if it's something I like, I believe at the end, it's really making it long. It will give me an option to add this to my email, and then I can make any edits I want to it. It's almost done, I think. There we go. And then I can add it to my email. I could shorten it. I probably would shorten it. It's quite long. I could add it to my email and then go from there. So would be very helpful within email. Yes, this is Merlin. I saw the question. This is Merlin, and it used to show up kind of as a little icon down here. However, I've noticed it's showing up here next to the compose now. The other way that Merlin shows some value is if you are in YouTube.
As I'm in the midst
Let me
of
pause this.
Hey, this is Eric, and
There's
this video
Mr.
is
Eric
one in a
Kurtz,
series of
and if you, I think he's doing our keynote today. He provides tons and tons of valuable information. But let's say I wanted to summarize this video. So a video on creating assignments. Notice there's a little option up here off to the right hand side. I can summarize this using Merlin. I can get transcript, which would transcript the whole thing. Or if I just want a summary of the video, it will give me some bullet points. I think it's creating the summary now. Yeah, so you can see the bullet points, you can see the time stamp on it. I could expand it just a little bit more if I want to see a little bit more information on that part of the video at any point. So that's something that Merlin can do for you. So a few different ways. Not I'm probably missing some things too, but that's a tool that I use probably almost daily is Merlin. So let me close out of that. Close out of I'll keep YouTube open just in case. The next one is Magic School. Make sure I pay attention to the time. Okay, Magic School. So let me jump to Magic School. This is a very I found progressive generative AI for education tool. Uh, what I mean by that, I guess, is that it feels like they're adding things almost daily to Magic School to help teachers. So right now, I believe it is all free, but they are starting to add paid versions. So there's going to be a paid model to this too. I think that again, there's going to be a free side from what I've heard, but there's going to be a uh, paid options as well. So when you jump into Magic School, notice I have a lot of favorites here. So under my favorites category, I have a lot of them starred. But if this is the first time you are in Magic School, you may not have that yet. So you're going to see maybe the all tools, and you can star any of those tools that you think might be valuable to you. So notice I have all the tools plus the little yellow stars that show my favorites within the all tools. So there are a lot of things there. Um, so it'd be helpful to find the ones that you think you might use to that way they're a little bit easier to sort through. Some of my favorites are I know one of the big topics around AI is creating what are we going to do about assignments with regards to writing assignments and things like that, since um, uh, AI can do a lot of the writing. How are we going to be able to monitor that? Magic School has an option where you can create AI resistant assignments around topics. If you click on that, you have a couple choices, or not a couple choices. You have a couple choices. One's the grade level, and one's the assignment description. And it's going to give you some ideas on how to create an AI resistant assignment. One thing I really like about Magic School is notice there's a little exemplar icon. So if you're trying to create any of these things, you can click on exemplar, and it's going to give you an example that of how this could be used. So this is a ninth grade, grade for ninth grade. Assignment description, write a 5-paragraph essay about the book, The Hate You Give. And then it gives you some ideas on how you might modify that. So I think I see, yeah, 3 different ideas there that you could use to make an assignment around that topic AI resistant. Also notice off to the right, this is something new they've added, and I believe this is part of the page structure within Magic School, or will be, is you can export it to like Google Docs, in some cases Google Forms if you're creating questions and things like that. So I find that pretty valuable too. Some other pieces. Oh, YouTube video question generator. So if you want to enter a link to a YouTube video, you can create questions from that video. And that would be something you could export to, I believe, Google Forms as well. Some other pieces here. Let's see. The text leveler. So kind of like what DiffIt does, it will level the text. You can do student work feedback, IEP accommodations, and things like that. But there's so many tools within Magic School. You do have the option to sort based upon different things, planning, content, questions, things like that. And then also notice off to the left-hand side, you have Raina, the chatbot. So for if by chance you can't find what you're looking for here, Raina could be an option. So you could ask Raina. Raina's kind of that assistant for teachers. And then let's see, output history. So this would be things that I created myself. Magic students, not quite there yet, but I'm really excited to see what that will bring. So we're looking for ways for students to engage with AI safely, um, and other things there. So it's question, why did you choose to purchase DiffIt versus Magic School? So that's a good question. Now, I would say in my situation, I'll be really honest. I found DiffIt. I saw we saw all the things that it could do for our teachers, and I'm not saying that I regretted it and that we wouldn't still go with DiffIt, but I was just so overly excited about what DiffIt could do, and then it felt like it was a very reasonable price too. Like it was for our school, we're in a small school district, 1,100 K through 12. I think it was less than $1,500 for everyone, which I thought was super reasonable. And then they allowed us to have it the rest of this year, and then next year is where we have to start paying. So I thought that was very reasonable. Um, the DiffIt tools as well. I love how DiffIt works with Google. Initially, when we purchased DiffIt, Magic School did not export to Google Forms and these other Google tools. But it feels like, based on some of the things I showed you, that they are headed that direction. So that might, if I knew that beforehand, that might have swayed our decision making. I still loved DiffIt, just in what it brings. So that's one thing I've noticed is that all of these tools seem to update, at least the progressive ones seem to update almost weekly. And if you purchase something today or too quickly, um, there's likely a tool that's going to come out that probably gives you just a little bit more later. So what I found. So these tools this summer, I would say early last school year, or late last school year as the school year was closing. I didn't know about any of these tools, maybe a couple of these tools. And within a year, all of these tools have started branching out. And they're all amazing and they all provide kind of something different, a different play, so to speak. So, yeah, just reading some of the comments. Have you used the report? I have not used that yet. Um, and as a high school teacher, letter of recommendation tool. Oh, yeah. Letter of recommendations, a lot of these things just take so much time. If it can give you a real great, a real nice template, I mean, you could just enter all the details about the student, not have to worry about so much the format of it and ask it to write something for you and then proofread it. That would save so much time. So love Magic School. But next, kind of on that list, actually, I found this one before Magic School. I kind of like Magic School a little better because I found this one first. It's called Eduate. So I believe Eduate's the next one on the list. Let me sign in real quick. I thought I was signed in. So Eduate, the difference with it, um, I I've noticed it doesn't export to Google Tools or other tools, which I wish it did. Um, but it does give you the option to copy and paste it, and that's pretty easy, and it does give you a lot of functionality. So off to the left-hand side, notice there is the generator option. That's one thing that with Eduate, I love it, but there's just a lot to look at on the screen. So off to the left-hand side, there's a generator. Towards the center of the screen, there's all the tools that you can choose from. And off to the right-hand side, that's where it kind of, as you pick things, it's going to put it on that little template. So I have some things that I have that are favorites here. You may not have anything there yet, but as you go through this part of it, you should see these tabs, the planning, the information objectives, and things like that. From the planning, if you think you'll use lesson seed a lot, go ahead and favorite that. That way it shows up in the favorites. If you think you'll use the prior knowledge in scaffolding, go ahead and start. That way you can easily access it from your favorites. So, and then you can go through each of those um, and find some tools that you'll use often. So I'm just going to jump into my favorites. I'm going to click on unit plan. So you would select an option, and then at the bottom, this is where you would enter the topic or keywords or things like that. Now, it has something already there for me. I'm just going to type in American Revolution. And then I believe I could leave it like that. But if I want to enhance that, make it just a little bit more detailed, I can click on that little enhance option, and it's going to give me a little bit more of a thought out statement about the American Revolution, as you can see there. And then it's going to work on creating things around that. So remember, since I have the unit plan option selected, I'm going to go ahead and click on add to workspace. So that's off to the right-hand side. So notice it's creating a unit plan for me off to the right-hand side, and it's all text right now. So you can see all that. I can scroll until I can see the end of the unit plan. Then let's say I want to add, how about, some project-based learning options there. Let's go ahead and click on that. Topic's still the same here. And let's go ahead and add that to our workspace as well. And then at the very end, it's going to add that project-based learning piece to it as well. And I can go through and add as many things as I want. At least within the free version. Notice it does have the option to upgrade as well. So all of the information here. Then if I want to bring this to, let's say, a Google Doc or Microsoft Word or somewhere else, I can click on the copy option, and then I would paste it within that other tool. My hope is at some point they'll have an export where they can export to like Google Docs or things like that. So but it does provide, I guess, a lot of value there. You also have, along that left-hand side again, you have your little assistant, kind of like Raina, and it gives you different types of options there. You have a feedback bot, so if you want to provide feedback to students based on specific categories, uh, syntactical, semantic, you have the typographic. Depending on what type of feedback you want to give, you can copy and paste their document there and then add some feedback. Check the questions real quick. Magic School is a platform fee of $2,000 a year. And then there's a charge of $4 to $5 per student for the year. Yeah, that helps. So $2,000 is just the base price, it sounds like, and then $4 to $5 for in addition for each student. So okay, appreciate that. All right. So then back to that was EduAid. You have the chat option. You can create an assessment, and then it also has a history option as well. So you can see all the ways I've used EduAid. All right, let's go to Twee. Now, Twee I found kind of early on as well, and I was really excited about it. But a lot of these other tools that I've shared, they actually have a lot of the things that Twee does now as well. But the thing I was really excited about with Twee initially is that it allowed you to create questions from a YouTube video. So I could paste a YouTube video here. Let's go ahead and go back and grab Eric's video. Let me copy that link, jump back into Twee, paste that there. Now it does only let you do up to 5 minutes. I think actually Magic School lets you do a little bit more than 5 minutes. And then you can select the question type and then what level you want the questions to be at. Click do the magic, and it's going to create the questions for you. Gives you the questions and the correct answers. So that is Twee. And now Twee has a lot of other pieces to it as well, but that was initially, I guess, for me, that was initially the thing that drew me to Twee. You can see a lot of the other panels and things that it can do. Create titles for text, so you can enter text, and it's going to create some options for titles and things like that. So, all right. Yeah, so Karen's using EduAid for feedback with help with writing. And there's another tool I have as well that I'll share that I found really valuable to that point, Karen. But yeah, EduAid would be great for that. And then it's free up to 10 to 15 essays. So this other tool that I'll share here in a few minutes, I'm not sure that it has a limit, at least right now. Against these are all there you go. Yes, Brisk. Brisk is going to be it. I love Brisk. Now another one, again, I love all the tools, but I really like CurryPod with regards to when you are creating like a Google Slides presentation, way back, 5 years ago or before that, when you're using a Google Slides presentation, one of the things that was always in the back of my mind is how to make it interactive with students, how to engage them in the process, not just me or whoever standing in front of the classroom and directly teaching the content, but how am I going to engage students with the process? CurryPod is one of those tools that can do that for you. So if you're familiar with like a Pear Deck, I think it's a Nearpod and tools like that. CurryPod is that, but um, it will add the interactive components for you using the AI behind it. So when you navigate to CurryPod, you might see something like this. You can start a full lesson from scratch. So I'll click on the full lesson. I can click on, I can select a grade level, and then I can add a topic or a standard there, and I can ask it to do its magic, and it's going to create a slideshow for me that already has the interactive pieces in it. And that is, I think, absolutely amazing. I jump back. The other thing I really like, and this is something I believe they added recently, is that you can click on the Curify My Slides. And I think for teachers that have been in the field for a bit and have already have slides created, this is amazing. So you can import Google Slide. Well, I'm sorry, not Google Slides. You can import PowerPoint or PDF. Now, you can always save your Google Slides as a PowerPoint and then import those um, so it can curify them. You jump back. There's a lot of other options there as well. So you can get feedback from historic figures. This is kind of cool to co-write a fairy tale with AI. So you can you can work together with the AI to create a fairy tale, um, and so many more things. I'm going to show you one that I've already created. Jump into my lessons, and let's see there. I thought there was one that I wanted to make sure. Maybe it was the American Revolution. Let's see that one. There it is. Okay. So I created one around the American Revolution. Um, Notice it has all the slides down here at the bottom toolbar. And you can see what type of slide it is. So word cloud means it's going to be something that the students can interact with. If it's just a slide, students don't have the opportunity to interact with those. There's an open question. So when you get to that part of it, students will have the chance to interact with it from their Chromebook or whatever the device they're using. There's an AI feedback. I really love this because um, with regards to this question, what were the main factors that led to American Revolution? Students could respond to it on their given device or Chromebook or whatever that might be, and they will get immediate feedback from the AI, which I think is awesome. There's an open question. There's a drawing. I really like these that it inserts brain breaks within the presentation. So it's just automatically incorporated. There's a poll option, and I believe there's a lot more as well. But the thing again I love about CuriPod is it makes with regards to slides or presentations adds that interactive component to it using AI. So that is CuriPod. All right, let me check the chat real quick. All right, as a teacher, seeing these for the first time, looking at tweets, nice. Yep, yep. It's making your choice. The other options are all names of what they do. Yep. CuriPod is an interactive writing assignments called, I think, AI Evil Ruler. Yeah, I think I've seen that as well. Yeah, like there's a lot of fun activities built in, and you don't have to create a whole slideshow presentation either, like we did here. You could just go directly to that activity, the AI ruler, and it could be like the icebreaker activity at the beginning. It could be an activity they do at the last 5-10 minutes of class too. It doesn't have to be a whole presentation kind of thing. So let me check the time real quick. So we have about 9 minutes. I'll try to get through as many as I can. But the next one is Goblin Tools. So Goblin Tools is really great if you have anyone that has trouble breaking things down into steps. So it has a lot of other pieces to it as well, but that's the initial value that I saw in it. So let's say you just want to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Or I'll say peanut butter sandwich just to save time. Okay, so make a peanut butter sandwich, and then you can choose the level of spiciness. The higher the level of spiciness, the more steps it's going to give. So I'm going to keep it at 5. You can go from 1 to 5. Go ahead and click on add. And then you want to hit this little magic wand here, and it's going to break it down. Making a peanut butter sandwich. So shows all the steps to making a peanut butter sandwich. And if you decide, gathering 2 slices of bread is way too broad for this student or whoever it might be, I need you to break that down even further. You can click on that little magic wand, and it will break that gathering 2 slices of bread down even further, and you can break that down as much as you need. I think there is a limit, but it gets pretty granular in detail. So there are other pieces there I'd check out as well. The formalizer is really nice. If you want to help, maybe you need it yourself, or maybe you want to help students with making uh, things that you're sharing more professional, more polite. Maybe they're less snarky, or all those different options there. You can even do more sarcastic if that's a problem, I guess. But you have all those options, and it does a pretty good job there too. And again, you have the level of spiciness that you can choose from. If you want something to help you with cooking, so you had a long day at school and you don't want to make any decisions when you get home, and you have these 5 things in the refrigerator, what can I make? You can use that tool there, and there are some other things there as well. All right, and then I believe I think I'm getting to Brisk, right? Tree polygonal tools Brisk. All right. So now Brisk really works well within Google Docs, and I know they recently added a tool to it where you can create Google Slides from, I believe, Google Doc. I think that's part of the paid version, though. But even with that, the one thing I really like with Brisk, and Brisk is a Google Chrome extension that you would add, just like you would do with Merlin. And it's going to show up down in the bottom right-hand corner when you are in a Google Doc. You would just click on that, and there's lots of different options there. There are options to create things, kind of like you would with Magic School or Diffit or things like that. You can give feedback. So if I wanted to provide the student with feedback on particular items, you can enter a rubric. You can have a targeted feedback. You can have just a glow and grow or next steps. And it's going to add that to the Google Doc, or this Google Doc, in the form of a comment off to the side, and it's in draft form. And it won't actually send to the student until you have the chance to review it and edit it, at least if you want to. One of the things I really like about Brisk is the inspect writing. You can click on the little detect AI writing, and it will give you this little bar of how likely it is that AI wrote this. But then the inspect writing piece, I think, is really awesome. So if I clicked on that and hit replay, you're going to see my keystrokes as I was creating this document. And I think this could be really valuable for teachers when you're asking students to create something within Google Docs. Notice it has two times I pasted something. I made 443 edits over 11 minutes. This, to me, I think one of the values in this is that it'd be easy to figure out if a student just copied and pasted something from the AI. So you can see if they're actually typing things in, and you can see the thought process as they are completing an assignment. So if the document says 3 seconds and 1 edit and 1 paste, and they have 10 pages of work, then you know something's not right there. And I know there are a lot of other things with Brisk as well, but I'm going to jump to the others because I know I'm running only have just a few minutes left. Um, Ghibli is another tool. It is kind of like it has kind of like a Kahoot, a Gimkit kind of feel to it, and it's pretty new. It's one that I've just recently discovered, probably within the last I would say month or so. Uh, what I like about Ghibli is that you have a few different options. As you uh, set up a room or a lobby, you can create the teams. Um, as a host, as a teacher, you can um, you can be a player or you can be a spectator. So I'm not sure that's an option with some of the other tools like Gimkit and Kahoot. Players can choose teams or not. And the other thing I really like about Ghibli is that you select the question set, you can print it as a PDF or download it as a PDF as well. So if you have students that missed the content for the day, you can go back and print that, and it includes the pictures. And that's Ghibli. I want to jump to Mizzou and School AI. Both of these almost kind of do, they are different, but they do a lot of the same things. I'm going to skip Mizzou because since I'm running out of time and jump right to School AI. School AI and Mizzou kind of they give you the ability to allow students to engage with AI safely. Students typically don't have access to like Gemini and some of the other AI tools to work with. School AI allows you to give your student let's say a sidekick, maybe someone that they can be kind of their assistant or tutor maybe when they're in the classroom, maybe when they're at home working on an assignment. They can ask questions when you're, as a teacher, not available. Um, I think I have some spaces. Yeah, let's see. Some meal. How about green eggs and ham? You can, one of the spaces, actually, let me jump back. No, we don't have a whole lot of time, but you can find spaces and you can allow students to interact with like historical figures. You can allow them to interact with certain periods of time, world history. Um, you can allow them to interact with books. So if you want them to have a conversation around a book um, with an author or whoever it might be, if you don't find what you need in there, you go back, you can create your own space. So if you don't find like Jackie Robinson, for example, I think I was looking for Jackie Robinson. You can create your own space around Jackie Robinson. And then I really love on the back end, this is where I think a lot of the power is you can see the students, um, the student interaction. So I think I have some with student interaction. I don't think there's a whole lot of interaction here, but you can see the names. So Amy and myself were interacting with this book. I think I did interact with it. So when I click on my name, notice it shows the interaction off to the right-hand side. So I can see exactly how students are interacting with the book. It will give you some information based on how well the conversation went, how well the AI thinks the conversation went. Mizzou, I believe, actually gives a grade and gives you uh, some more information about the conversation back and forth. So you can click on the student and see the conversation, but you can also see like a little snapshot of how the conversation went, if they really understand the material or not. All right. Again, I apologize. I skipped over Mizzou. Mizzou is amazing. I'd recommend looking at that as well. Kind of the same feel as School AI, but there's some different pieces to it. What else? So there's Brish, Ghibli, Mizzou, School AI, Canva. I would strongly recommend looking at it. It's free for schools. You can get a district license free. You have access to all the professional tools that are within it. and it has its own AI tools within it, but it also has apps that allows you to integrate outside AI tools as well. So I would strongly recommend that. Love Canva. And this is a link to uh, all of these tools that I shared and more. So a Google Sheets list of tools. So if you just want the Sheets form of it, not the fancy form, this has all of those tools and more. And I believe that is about it. I know we have some other Futurepedia again, if you're looking for other things outside of what I shared. And I think that's it. So you have the link to this session, you have the top AI tools, and if you want to reach out to me for any reason, I know I didn't get to answer all the questions. I saw some things in the chat. Feel free to reach out to me, email. You have my Twitter, my YouTube channel. I add some videos every now and then. So I appreciate you guys showing up for the session. Hope you found some good tools and have a great rest of the conferences. Thank you all. If you want to stick around, if you have questions, I'll stick around.
Hi, Denny. I'm so sorry. Do you think that you could share the Excel link again? The very last link where you had all those tools on there?
Oh yeah, that is the one that's. Can you see the screen? It's the.
Oh, that
Did
one? Okay.
maybe I. Oh, I think maybe I labeled it wrong. The presentation
Mhm. I think I
is
typed
the
in that
first.
link, but it didn't lead me to that.
Okay, let me go back. It should be. I think is that the one you want? Probably.
Let's see. It
That
was like that Excel sheet that you had at the end.
right here.
Yes, that one, that one.
Yep. So that's the bit.ly/AI tools for educators.
That one. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And if you could just pick one app that you would purchase or recommend, is
Uh-huh.
there a specific one that you shared, that one of the tools that you were like, I would invest in this one?
Yeah, that's a good question. Um, I do not regret DeFit. Like I really feel like there's a lot of value in it. I feel like our teachers are really going to utilize it the rest of this year and the coming year. Magic School is really growing on me. Like I've loved Magic School anyways, but they're really growing on me because since we are a Google for Education school, they've added that component to a lot of pieces, and they're very progressive. They keep on adding tools as well, which is something I would look for if when investing in a tool is that they're progressive, that they're adding new tools almost on the daily, weekly. Um, I guess it depends on what you're looking for specifically as an outcome for teachers. Uh, CurryPod is really awesome too. Um, I, I mean, if I diff it, Magic School, and I really like CurryPod. If I were, let me think. I think those are
Our
probably my top.
school purchased DFIT, which is awesome. So I'm excited to like continue to look into that. But that was really
Yeah,
good. Thank you so
yeah,
much. I appreciate it.
sure thing. Yeah, can't if you haven't looked at Canva, Canva's free, and it has a lot of AI components to it, and students, um, it will it has an integration that you can create classes within DifIt, um, and students have access to some of the AI tools as well through that. So,
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
sure.
So Danny, I put a question in the chat. Have you done a presentation on AI tools for K-5 teachers? And if you have, is it something you could share?
You know, I haven't. I'm trying to think. I haven't done anything specific to just K through 5 teachers. I know I'm a K-12 coach. I've done a lot of PD with the K-5 crowd, um, but I don't have like a specific presentation for that. I have created a presentation around kind of the before this. At the beginning of the year, I did one that just kind of introduced them to AI first. I feel like these tools are like the second level of the generative
Yes.
AI. There's a first level too where you can learn how to prompt with like a chat GPT, the Geminis and things like that, um, and how to use it as a teacher. And then
Yeah.
these kind of work.
Is
Sorry.
that something you could share? Because that's what I'm looking at, something before this.
Yeah, I could do that. Are you able to shoot me an email and I can share that with you?
Okay, I don't have your email that I know.
Okay, whoops, sorry. Sorry, I went too fast and it got me to the end of the, there we go. So Denny.Hammond at Adena Local Schools.
Okay. Take a picture of it.
Sure. I mean, I don't mind. I think I have a bit.ly for it too. It would take me a second to pull it up. So however you want to,
Well, if you have a bit.ly, that would be wonderful.
okay, I'll let you take a picture. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. So here it is. Called it AI Evolution of Education. bit.ly /. Yeah, so it just kind of goes through it goes from, talks about what AI is, compares AI versus generative AI, goes into how teachers can use it, the prompting, things like that. And then it goes into how to educate students as well, how to use it with students a little bit. And there's a little bit of, there's some tools in there regarding academic integrity and things like that too. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so if I have to do a presentation for some teachers, is it okay if I share some of the slides information?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
perfect. This is perfect. Certainly exactly what I was looking for. Thank you.
Awesome. Good
Great
to hear.
session.
Yeah, thank you, Cheryl.